Friday could bring the end of one special legislative session in Texas and the immediate start of another. That's if dozens of Democrats do not come back to the state on that day. And today, their leader in the House shared some clues about their future plans. Joining us now to give us an update about all of this is KXAN's Capitol correspondent, Adam Schwager. Adam, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about what is in store for Friday. What might that look like?
So right now, we were on the House floor yesterday morning when they couldn't get quorum, 95, so 5 members short. That's when Speaker of the House Dustin Burrows got up there and said, here's the plan. We're going to try one more time, 10 a.m. on Friday. If the Democrats don't show up then, we're going to immediately adjourn, go sine die. That means we're going to end this special session, which was already set to end in the middle of next week anyway, hitting that 30-day window. And we're going to immediately have the governor call for a new special session. Governor Greg Abbott then confirmed that that is the plan. And then earlier today, we got an update from Gene Wu, who's currently in Chicago, the leader of the House Democrats, and he says that their plans on what happens Fridays depends on what's on this call sheet. They say on Friday, they're going to release a list of what they want to see the governor do in terms of prioritizing flooding over redistricting to try to see if it's something they will do to want to come back. I will say most of the things that we're seeing from Republican leadership is kind of laughing them out the building, saying, what do you mean you are not in any position to make these demands? But when you listen to what the Democrats are saying, they're basically threatening, we're going to have California draw a new map. We're going to ask all these other blue states who possibly could squeeze a couple of blue seats out of their current congressional maps to go. They're saying it's predicated on Texas doing their redistricting. So what they're saying is our leverage is, do you really want to start a national domino effect where everyone is going to start gerrymandering? That might happen if these maps go through.
Okay, so back here in Texas, though, just yesterday, the state Senate actually passed new congressional maps for next year's midterms drawn by the Republicans. And a viral moment happened with some of the Democrats in that chamber. Talk to us about what happened with that.
Yeah, it all came back to their messaging of flooding first over redistricting. So at the beginning of the Senate session, they said, hey, can we take up flooding bills, flooding response bills, disaster relief bills first, and then do the redistricting stuff? Their request was denied, so 9 of those 11 Democrats, they got up and walked out. Now, right now, there is a 19-11 split in the Senate. That means that if all 11 walk out, they could prevent a quorum. Senators Judith Zaffirini and Chuy Hinojosa, those are the 2 Democrats who did say, so that map did pass on 19-2, but once again, everything about that really is symbolic, right? You have a symbolic vote because we know that there's over a 95% chance that everything's getting washed away and we're going to a new special session on Friday. So it's a symbolic vote in the Senate. It's a symbolic walkout because it doesn't prevent a vote. So I think it's just a lot of everyone just trying to get their message across here.
Certainly so. So next year will not just bring elections, of course, for Congress here in Texas. It's also a huge election for different statewide offices across Texas. Are those races being affected at all about how the Republicans are responding to all of this?
Well, I think one in particular that we're seeing is that U.S. Senate race, specifically that U.S. Senate primary. Right now, we have Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, running to try to unseat long-term U.S. Senator John Cornyn. And that's resulted in the 2 going back and forth. Actually, one of our colleagues here, Ford McCracken, he just wrote up an article about this. He says that since the quorum break started, John Cornyn has called out Ken Paxton for his response to it on X 15 times. Ken Paxton has responded about John Cornyn's qualifications, not necessarily the quorum break, 13 times. And you have John Cornyn, who's trying to do what he can to ask the FBI to get involved in bringing back some of these Democrats. You have Ken Paxton levying lawsuits to try to vacate the seats of 13 to 14 House Democrats who are currently out of the state. And it's going back and forth. And you could see it most in an amicus brief. That's when you file something in addition to support someone's claims in a lawsuit. On the Greg Abbott lawsuit to vacate Gene Wu's seat, Senator Cornyn filed that brief, and about half of it was just criticizing Paxton's response. So right now, a lot of it, there's a proxy war going on for the U.S. Senate race through this quorum break.
All right, still some bad blood between the 2 reverberating in this way as well. But Adam, we'll keep tracking with you, so follow this for us, and we'll have you back on the show soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.